I'm sad to announce the death of my new mod, Based Life. Just kidding, I'm not. The mod isn't dead. There will be a Google Drive link in the description. But the mod on mod database or ModDB is dead. Okay. And I didn't want it to be dead. No, 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 no. Don't get it wrong. But the mod develop the ModDB developers did. You might be wondering, it's called ModDB for a reason. Why would they delete a mod? Was it inappropriate? No. Was it? Did it have like? Why? Why did it get deleted? Well, good question. So let's read the official email they sent me. So, Kai, I'm not going to leak my name. A file you recently added to ModDB, aka BaseLife, has just been deleted and will not be shown. Please do not re-add, as it will be deleted again. If you disagree with this decision, read on and reply to this email and we shall help you. Your file was deleted for the following reasons. Crap. What the fuck do you mean, crap? If you didn't like my mod, just say it. Okay, maybe my mod was in fact low quality. Maybe, just maybe, my mod maybe I should have said that you should remove headphones before you play, okay? Maybe. But you shouldn't just said crap and not elaborate further. Okay? But there are some other reasons. Maybe that'll provide me with some extra context that I might need to solve this perilous case. Yeah. Alright, other reasons why content is deleted include unclear description. Okay, I agree with that. Yeah. I could have made the description better on the original post, of course. Okay. Not relevant on ModDB. What the hell are you smoking? Have you played Crack Life? Crack Life is literally teenager humor. I'm sure, like, not to hate on Crack Life, but like, what the fuck do you mean not relevant on ModDB? Elaborate further. Why is it not relevant on ModDB? Why the fuck is it not relevant on ModDB? It's a meme mod. I listed it as a meme mod. There's a reason why the comedy section exists when you publish a mod. There's zero reason. If a mod is listed in the correct like category or whatever, then you shouldn't delete the mod. The dude, look, okay, okay. Now let's look at the mod page itself. I'm going to go into Discord because I posted the download link to my cousin. That is important, by the way. I'm I'm 100% certain I put the mod in the comedy category. That's why Crack Life shows up, which also has the theme comedy. I'm sorry that I didn't call it theme, but whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. There's the tag in Crack Life. Do you suck dicks? There's not safe for work. I know there isn't. Okay. The original two versions did have not safe for work. But what the hell? Okay, anyways. Let's look through the email. Malware detected. What the hell do you mean? Right, here's my mod, base life. Actually, I'm going to go into the whatever. Here's the official release of base life that I have right now. We have these CFG files. This is autoexec.cfg. These two are vanilla. I can't remove those, I think. Then we have config.cfg. I think there's nothing in here. Also, by the way, mraw input is so the camera doesn't spin. Right, controller.cfg. That's also vanilla. I didn't edit it at all. I just scaled a bit so it's actually visible. Then we have in-game dialog config.vdf. I don't know how to open it. I'm going to open it on Notepad. Never mind. I think it opens normally in Notepad. There are a bunch of these things. I don't know what the hell those are. Then there's lblist.game, GAM. Then here, the only thing I did was base life. Nothing else is knitted. Okay, I'm going to okay, I'm not going to remove it. Okay, server browser.vdf. I don't know this file. I haven't edited it. Okay, titles.txt. The only thing I edited was here, the guy who made this mod. That's the only addition. User.str. I can't even open it. It's a screensaver. And do you know what's in the original Half-Life? There's a user.str in the original Half-Life. You can't make this up. At violence.cfg, there's nothing inside of it. At least that's the only thing I could see. Voice underscore band.dt. I don't know what that is. There's this symbol. I can't open it. Okay, GFX. I I asked ChatGPT how to make custom background. It made me make these two files. Didn't work. There's maps. It got automatically generated. Media. Logo AVI, startup vids, Valve Web and Valve AVI, they were all generated. I can't remove those. Like I'm going to delete these. And I'm going to play my mod. And I'm going to quit. Okay, whatever. I'll delete those now. Okay, resource, background. These are all for the pre-25th anniversary edition. I don't know how to make them for the post-25th anniversary version. Here's save. Those are my save files that I made for this mod. Then there's sound, which is exactly the same as the normal Half-Life, except everything is base boosted. No shit. Materials.txt and sentences.txt. Okay, and there's materials.txt. And that's literally it. These are all the files. There is nothing that can be malicious, malware, ransomware, nothing. There are no viruses. I've played this mod at least 10 times. My cousin has played this mod, and let's see what he's doing. He's playing Half-Life 2. Everything's going normal for him. So let's go again. Doesn't work. Do you mean the screen spinning around? The custom background? Sounds not looping? I want to fix sounds not looping. I don't know how to fix them. But anyways, the mod should work. I'm going to actually, after I make this video, I'm going to put a readme inside of the mod so no one can mess up anything. I'm just going to copy over what I put in ModDB. IP violation or terms of use violation. Let's read. Our privacy policy describes how we handle the information, blah 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 blah. You don't understand that through your uses or these services you consent to the collection and use of this information. Blah 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 blah. Our service allows you to post, link, store, share, upload, and otherwise make available certain information, text, graphics, videos, files, or other material or content. Uh, You are responsible for the content that you post to the service, including its legality, reliability, and appropriateness. Any use or reliance on any content or materials posted via the services or obtained by you through the services is at your own risk. We do not endorse, support, represent, or guarantee the completeness, truthfulness, accuracy, or reliability of any content or communications posted via the services or endorse any opinions expressed via the services. You understand that by using the services, you may be exposed to content that might be offensive, harmful, inaccurate, or otherwise inappropriate, or in some cases, postings that have been mislabeled or are otherwise deceptive. This is particularly true of games, mods, add-ons, and other downloadable content, which are made available by third-party and unofficial providers via the service. The installation of downloadable content can affect existing games, applications, and files you own. All content is the sole responsibility of the person who originated such content. We may not monitor or control the content posted via the services, and we cannot take responsibility for such content. Your rights. You retain all rights to any content you submit, post, or display on or through the service, and you are responsible for protecting those rights. By posting content to the service, you grant us a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to use, copy, reproduce, process, adapt, modify, publish, transmit, display, and distribute such content in any and all media or distribution methods now known or later developed. This license authorizes us to make your content available worldwide. You agree that this license includes the right for DB Olical Pty Ltd to provide, promote, and improve the services, and to make content submitted to or through the service available to other companies, organizations, or individuals for syndication, broadcast, distribution, promotion, or publication of such content on other media and services, subject to our terms and conditions for such use. Let me breathe a bit. Okay. You represent and warrant that the content is yours, you own it, or you have the right to use it and grant us the rights and license as provided in these terms. And 2. The posting of your content on or through the service does not violate the privacy rights, publicity rights, copyrights, contact rights, or any other rights of any person. Further, you warn that the content will not cause you or us to breach any law, regulation, rule, code, or other legal obligation. 2. The content will not or could not reasonably considered to be obscene, inappropriate, defamatory, disparaging, indecent, seditious, offensive, pornographic, threatening, abusive, liable to incite racial hatred, discriminatory, blasphemous, and encourage gambling, in breach of confidence or in breach of privacy. 3. The content will not be advertising of any kind. 4. The content does not contain software, viruses, or any other computer code, files, or programs designed to interrupt, destroy, or limit the functionality of any computer service, computer software, hardware, or telecommunications equipment. And 5. The content does not bring us or the service into disrepute. You agree to keep all records necessary to establish that your content does not violate any of the requirements this clause, and make such records available upon our reasonable request. We are under no obligation to regularly monitor the accuracy or reliability of your content incorporated into the service. We reserve the right to modify or remove any content at any time. You acknowledge and agree that all content you provide on the service will be publicly available information, and that you bear the risks involved with such public disclosures. Copyright policy. We respect the intellectual property rights of others. We are bound by the Australian Copyright Act and also recognize the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which lays out a system of legal requirements for dealing with allegations of copyright infringement. DB Olical Pty Ltd complies with the DMCA, and we respond to notices of alleged infringement if they comply with the law. We reserve the right to delete or disable content alleged to be infringing and to terminate accounts for repeated infringers. We do this when appropriate and at our sole discretion. If you believe that your content has been copied in a way that constitutes copyright infringement, please report this by contacting us at copyright@moddb.com with the following information: your name and address, details of the alleged breach of copyright, and the URL link to the alleged breach of copyright, if applicable. Please allow us 30 days to investigate your complaint, after which we will contact you immediately to resolve the issue. Using the services. You may not use our service for any unlawful purposes or in further chance of illegal activities. By using the service, you agree to comply with all applicable laws governing your online conduct and content. In particular, you must not attempt to harm, disrupt, or otherwise engage in activity that diminishes the service's availability or that any other computer system or network. You must not attempt to gain access to any accounts, computers, or networks related to the service without authorization. You must not attempt to obtain any data through any means of the service from the service, except if we intend to provide or make it available to you. You must not abuse, harass, stalk, threaten, defame, or otherwise violate the legal rights, such as rights of privacy and publicity, of others in any form. You must not attempt to interfere with or inhibit another person's use and enjoyment of the service. You must not harvest or otherwise collect information about others, including email addresses. You must not create a false identity, multiple identities, or impersonate another, and you must respect the personal data of our users. Your account. You may need to create an account to use some of our services. When you create an account with us, you must provide us information that is accurate, complete, and current at all times. Failure to do so constitutes as a breach of the terms, which may result in immediate termination of your account on our service. You are responsible for safeguarding the password that you use to access the service and agree to not disclose your password to any third party. You agree to be fully responsible for activities that relate to your account or your password. You must notify us immediately upon becoming aware of any breach of security or unauthorized use of your account. You may not use as a username the name of another person or entity that is not lawfully available for use, a name or trademark that is subject to any rights of another person or entity other than you without appropriate authorization, or a name that is otherwise offensive, vulgar, or obscene. If you wish to purchase any product or service such as job ad made available to the service purchase, you may be asked to supply certain information relevant to your purchase, including without limitation your credit card number, the expiration date of your credit card, and your billing address. You represent and warrant that you have the legal right to use any credit card or credit cards or any other payment method or methods in connection with any purchase, and that the information you supply to our payment providers is correct and complete. We reserve the right to refuse or cancel your order at any time for certain reasons, including but not limited to product or service availability, errors in the description or price of the product or service, error in your order, or other reasons. We reserve the right to refuse or cancel your order if fraud or an unauthorized or illegal transaction is suspected. The service is not designed to provide qualitative advice regarding the fitness for purpose and merchantability of any products or services. We strongly advise you to exercise caution and do your own due diligence in conducting any transactions through the service. I'm going to get some water, be right back. Alright, I got some mineral water. I don't think you can hear it, by the way, but anyways. Okay. Subscriptions. Some parts of the service, such as ad-free support, are billed on a subscription basis, quote-unquote subscription, or quote-unquote subscriptions. You will be billed in advance on a recurring and periodic basis, quote-unquote billing cycle. Billing cycles are set on an annual basis. At the end of each billing cycle, your subscription will automatically renew under the exact same conditions unless you cancel it or DB Oracle Pty Ltd cancels it. You may cancel your subscription renewal either to the payment provider or by contacting us. A valid payment method is required to process the payment for your subscription. You shall provide our payment providers with accurate and complete billing information they require to facilitate the payment. Their requirements can be found here. By submitting such payment information, you automatically authorize DB Oracle Pty Ltd to charge all subscription fees incurred through your account to any such payment instruments. Should automatic billing fail to occur for any reason, your subscription will not be automatically renewed at the end of your billing cycle. Okay. Refunds. You can request a refund for a purchase within 7 days from the date of purchase. You can request a refund for an ongoing subscription at any time. Your subscription will be cancelled and you will be paid the pro data refund amount based on the duration of the subscription that remains. Availability, errors, and inaccuracies. We are constantly updating our offerings of products and services on the service. The products or services available on our service may be mispriced, described inaccurately, or unavailable. And we may experience delays in updating information on the service and in our advertising on other websites. We cannot and do not guarantee the accuracy of completeness of any information including prices, product images, specifications, availability, and services. We reserve the right to change or update information and to correct errors, inaccuracies, or omissions at any time without prior notice. The content is provided without warranties or conditions of any kind, either express or implied, including but not limited to implied warranties and conditions of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, or non-infringement. Contests, giveaways, and promotions. Any contests, giveaways, or other promotions, collectively quote-unquote promotions, made available through the service may be governed by rules that are separate from these terms. If you participate in any promotions, please review the applicable rules as well as our privacy policy. If the rules to a promotion conflict with these terms, the promotion rules will apply. Links to other websites. Our service may contain links to third-party websites or services that are not owned or controlled by DB Oracle Pty Ltd. DB Oracle Pty Ltd has no control over and assumes no responsibility for the content privacy policies or practices of any third-party websites or services. You further acknowledge and agree that DB Oracle Pty Ltd shall not be responsible or liable directly or indirectly for any damage or loss caused or alleged to be caused by or in connection with use or reliance in any such content, goods, or services available on or through any such websites or services. We only provide links to external websites as a convenience, and the inclusion of such a link to external websites do not imply our endorsement of those websites. You acknowledge and agree that when you access other websites on the internet, you do so at your own risk. We strongly advise you to read the terms and conditions and privacy policies of any third-party websites or services that you visit. Termination. We may suspend your account immediately without we may terminate or suspend your account immediately without prior notice or liability for any reason whatsoever, including without limitation if you breach the terms. Upon termination, your right to use the service will immediately cease. If you wish to terminate your account, you may simply discontinue using the service. All provisions of the terms, which by their nature should survive termination, shall survive termination, including, without limitation, ownership provisions, warranty disclaimers, indemnity, and limitations of liability. We shall not be liable to you or any third party for any claims or damages arising out of any termination or suspension or any other actions taken by us in connection therewith. If applicable law requires us to provide notice of termination or cancellation, we may give prior or subsequent notice by posting it on the service or by sending a communication to any address, email or otherwise, that we have for you in our records. Indemnification. As a condition of your access to and use of the service. Alright. Whatever. Indemnification. As a condition of our access to and use of the service, you agree to indemnify us and our successors and assigns for all damages, costs, expenses, and other liabilities, including but not limited to legal fees and expenses relating to any claim arising out of or related to your access to and use of the service, or your breach of these terms and any applicable law or the rights of another person or party. This indemnification section survives the expiration of your registration and applies to claims arising both before and after the registration ends. Limitation of liability. You agree that we shall not be liable for any damages suffered as a result of using the service, copying, distributing, or downloading content from the service. In no event shall we be liable for any indirect, punitive, special, incidental, or consequential damage, including loss of business, revenue, profits, use, privacy, data, goodwill, or other economic advantage, however it arises, whether for breach of contract or in tort, even if it has been previously advised for the possibility of such damage. In no event shall we be liable for any claims by a third party in tort or contract or pursuant to the Australian consumer law, including but not limited to any misleading statements made and or incorporated by into any content provided by third parties such as manufacturers and wholesalers and users of the service. It is your sole responsibility to ensure the accuracy of the data inputted. You have sole responsibility for adequate security, protection, and backup of data and/or equipment used in connection with your usage of the service, and will not make a claim against for lost data, runtime, inaccurate instruction, work delays, or lost profits resulting from the use of the service. You must not assign or otherwise dispose of your account to any other person. Without limiting the foregoing, in no event will our aggregate liability to you exceed in total the amounts paid by you to us. Disclaimer: your use of the service is at your sole risk. The service is provided on an as-is and as-available basis. The service is provided without warranties of any kind, whether express or implied, including but not limited to implied warranties of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, non-infringement of course or performance. DB Oracle Pty Ltd, its subsidiaries, affiliates, and its licensors do not warrant that a. the service will function uninterrupted, secure, or available at any particular time or location. B. Any errors or defects will be corrected. C. The service is free of viruses and other harmful components. Or D. The results of using the service will meet your requirements. This disclaimer of liability applies to any damages or injury caused by any failure of a performance, error, omission, interruption, deletion, defect, delay in operation or transmission, computer virus, communication line failure, theft or destruction, or unauthorized access or alteration of or any of or use of record in connection with the use of operation of the service, whether for breach of contract, tortious behavior, negligence, or any other cause of action. Water ASMR. Stupid EU cap. Okay, back to the video. We make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the content contained on the service for any purpose. Any reliance you place on such information is therefore strictly at your own risk. We disclaim any express or implied warranty, representation, or guarantee as to the effectiveness or profitability of the service, or that the operation of our service will be uninterrupted or error-free. We are not liable for the consequences of any interruptions or error in the service. Exclusions. Some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion of certain warranties or the exclusion of or limitation of liability for consequential or incidental damages, so the limitations above may not apply to you. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Governing law. These terms shall be governed and constructed in accordance with the laws of Victoria, Australia, without the regard to its conflict of law without the regard to its conflict of law provisions. Any disputes will be heard in the courts of that state under Australian law. Our failure to enforce any right or provision of these terms will not be considered a waiver of those rights. If any provision of these terms is held to be invalid or unenforceable by a court, the remaining provisions of these terms will remain in effect. These terms constitute the entire agreement between us regarding our service and supersede and replace any prior agreements we might have between us regarding the service. Changes. We reserve the right at our own sole discretion to modify or replace these terms at any time. If a revision is material, we will try to provide at least 30 days notice prior to any new terms taking effect. It is your sole responsibility to periodically check these terms for any changes. If you do not agree with any of the changes of these terms, it is your sole responsibility to stop using the service. Your continued use of the service will be deemed as your acceptance thereof. And finally, contact us. If you have any questions about these terms, please contact us by email, legal@moddb.com, by post, DB Article Pty Ltd, 164 Kingsway, South DB Article Pty Ltd, 164 Kingsway, South Melbourne, VIC 3205 Australia, or by visiting this page on our website, https //www.moddb.com/contact. And that is all of the terms of service. I did not find anything that my mod was violating, and I didn't violate my IP or anything. Thanks for listening to me about. Thanks for listening to me about yapping about my mod unfairly being deleted from ModDB. I'm pretty sure that you now might want to download my mod. Worst self, worst self-insert of all time, I know. So, Google Drive link will exist in the bottom. Yeah, goodbye, guys.